Alright, my friends, let's do this here. Okay. You are watching Political Point Magazine. Where the right is right, and the left, well, the left is always on the wrong side of history. Why? Because political minds want to know. So enjoy a conservative point of view. And let's talk pea soup. With tonight's top stories. Well, it appears that Hillary may be in slight trouble. Yep, that's right. Hillary is officially damaged goods. The scandal and whatnot is all coming into play here. The email gate and the foreign contributions are all coming together to tear her down. That's right. Okay. But there is some things that are coming together now. And we see that Netanyahu last week addressed Congress, but over 50 Democrats skipped the speech. We asked the question, are the Democrats playing politics with our ally Israel? And do they understand the threat from Iran? From the Iran deal? It's just not. And also, the weekend commemorates and marks the 50th anniversary of Selma, the Selma March. But the New York Times noticeably missed or left something out of its front page image. And what is up with the plane crashes these days? We will talk about that, and we will take it to the phones with you, the viewers, on this Monday, the 9th of March. And with me, your political host, William Mitro. All right, my friends, yes. All right. We thank you for tuning in here. All right, welcome to another episode of Political Point. I am your humble host, and my friends, yes, it appears now that we are coming across some uncharted areas now, and it appears that we have come across a lot of things that are in the works here, but my friends, okay, it is now time to analyze and come to grips with things here, because our analysis of things that have been coming together now. For example, okay, we find out that Hillary now is damaged goods. Okay, but before I get into that, all right, before I get into that now, before I get into that, I want to talk about Netanyahu. Netanyahu had a great speech last week. Okay, now he spoke on the 3rd, and we definitely want to get this in here because now I feel that the Democrats now have entered the third rail of politics here. All right, and now, and it seems to me like they just have not come to grips with what really needs to be done here. All right, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna show you some of Netanyahu's speech. Okay, address to Congress. Now, so here it goes. We have last week's Netanyahu was in America and he spoke.
Restrictions would be supervised by international inspectors. But here's the problem. See, inspectors document violations. They don't stop them. Inspectors knew when North Korea broke to the bomb, but that didn't stop anything. North Korea turned off the cameras, kicked out the inspectors. Within a few years, it got the bomb. Now we're warned that within 5 years, North Korea could have an arsenal of 100 nuclear bombs. Like North Korea, Iran too has defied international inspectors. It's done that on at least 3 separate occasions: 2005, 2006, 2010. Like North Korea, Iran broke the locks, shut off the cameras. Now I know this is not going to come as a shock to any of you, but Iran not only defies inspectors, plays a pretty good game of hide and cheat with them. The UN's nuclear watchdog agency, the IAEA, said again yesterday that Iran still refuses to come clean about its military nuclear program. Iran was also caught twice, not once, twice, operating secret nuclear facilities in Natanz and Qom, facilities that inspectors didn't even know existed. Right now, Iran could be hiding nuclear facilities that we don't know about, the US and Israel. As the former head of inspections for the IAEA said in 2013, he said, if there's no undeclared installation today in Iran, it'll be the first time in 20 years that it doesn't have one. Iran has proven time and again that it cannot be trusted. And that's why the first major concession is a source of grave concern. It leaves Iran with a vast nuclear infrastructure and relies on inspectors to prevent a breakout. That concession creates a real danger that Iran could get to the bomb by violating the deal. But the second major concession creates an even greater danger, that Iran could get to the bomb by keeping the deal. Because virtually all the restrictions on Iran's nuclear program will automatically expire in about a decade. Now, a decade may seem like a long time in political life, but it's the blink of an eye in the life of a nation. It's a blink of an eye in the life of our children. We all have a responsibility to consider what will happen when Iran's nuclear capabilities are virtually unrestricted and all the sanctions will have been lifted. Iran would then be free to build a huge nuclear capacity that could produce many, many nuclear bombs. Iran's supreme leader says that openly. He says Iran plans to have 190,000 centrifuges, not 6,000 or even the 19,000 that Iran has today, but 10 times that amount. 190,000 centrifuges enriching uranium. With this massive capacity, Iran could make the fuel for an entire nuclear arsenal, and this in a matter of weeks, once it makes that decision. My longtime friend, John Kerry, Secretary of State, confirmed last week that Iran could legitimately possess that massive centrifuge capacity when the deal expires. Now I want you to think about that. The foremost sponsor of global terrorism could be weeks away from having enough enriched uranium for an entire arsenal of nuclear weapons and this with full international legitimacy. And by the way, if Iran's intercontinental ballistic missile program is not part of the deal, and so far Iran refuses to even put it on the negotiating table, well, Iran could have the means to deliver that nuclear arsenal to the far-reach corners of the earth, including to every part of the United States. You see, my friends, this deal has two major concessions. One, leaving Iran with a vast nuclear program. And two, lifting the restrictions on that program in about a decade. That's why this deal is so bad. It doesn't block Iran's path to the bomb, it paves Iran's path to the bomb. So why would anyone make this deal? Because they hope that Iran will change for the better in the coming years? Or they believe that the alternative to this deal is worse? Well, I disagree. I don't believe that Iran's radical regime will change for the better after this deal. This regime has been in power for 36 years, and its voracious appetite for aggression grows with each passing year. This deal would only whet Iran's appetite for more. Would Iran be less aggressive when sanctions are removed and its economy is stronger? If Iran is gobbling up 4 countries right now while it's under sanctions, how many more countries will Iran devour when sanctions are lifted? Would Iran fund less terrorism when it has mountains of cash with which to fund more terrorism? Why should Iran's radical regime change for the better when it can enjoy the best of both worlds, aggression abroad, prosperity at home? This is a question that everyone asks in our region. Israel's neighbors, Iran's neighbors, know that Iran will become even more aggressive and sponsor even more terrorism when its economy is unshackled and it's been given a clear path to the bomb. And many of these neighbors say they'll respond by racing to get nuclear weapons of their own. So this deal won't change Iran for the better. It will only change the Middle East for the worse. A deal that's supposed to prevent nuclear proliferation would instead spark a nuclear arms race in the most dangerous part of the planet. This deal won't be a farewell to arms, it would be a farewell to arms control. And the Middle East would soon be crisscrossed by nuclear tripwires. A region where small skirmishes can trigger big wars would turn into a nuclear tinderbox. If anyone thinks this deal kicks the can down the road, think again. When we get down that road, we'll face a much more dangerous Iran, a Middle East littered with nuclear bombs, and a countdown to a potential nuclear nightmare. Ladies and gentlemen, I've come here today to tell you we don't have to bet the security of the world on the hope that Iran will change for the better. We don't have to gamble with our future and with our children's future. We can insist that restrictions on Iran's nuclear program not be lifted for as long as Iran continues its aggression in the region and in the world. Before lifting those restrictions, the world should demand that Iran do 3 things. First, stop its aggression against its neighbors in the Middle East. Second, stop supporting terrorism around the world. And third, stop threatening to annihilate my country, Israel, the one and only Jewish state. If the world powers are not prepared to insist that Iran change its behavior before a deal is signed, at the very least, they should insist that Iran change its behavior before a deal expires. If Iran changes its behavior, the restrictions would be lifted. If Iran doesn't change its behavior, the restrictions should not be lifted. If Iran wants to be treated like a normal country, let it act like a normal country. My friends, what about the argument that there is no alternative to this deal? That Iran's nuclear know-how cannot be erased, that its nuclear program is so advanced that the best we can do is delay the inevitable, which is essentially what the proposed deal seeks to do. Well, nuclear know-how without nuclear infrastructure doesn't get you very much. A race car driver without a car can't drive. A pilot without a plane can't fly. Without thousands of centrifuges, tons of enriched uranium, or heavy water facilities, Iran can't make nuclear weapons. Iran's nuclear program can be rolled back well beyond the current proposal by insisting on a better deal and keeping up the pressure on a very vulnerable regime, especially given the recent collapse in the price of oil. Now, if Iran threatens to walk away from the table, and this often happens in a Persian bazaar, call their bluff. They'll be back because they need the deal a lot more than you do. And by maintaining the pressure on Iran and on those who do business with Iran, you have the power to make them need it even more. My friends, for over a year, we've been told that no deal is better than a bad deal. Well, this is a bad deal. It's a very bad deal. We're better off without it. Now we're being told that the only alternative to this bad deal is war. That's just not true. The alternative to this bad deal is a much better deal. A better deal that doesn't leave Iran with a vast nuclear infrastructure and such a short breakout time. A better deal that keeps the restrictions on Iran's nuclear program in place until Iran's aggression ends. A better deal that won't give Iran an easy path to the bomb. A better deal that Israel and its neighbors may not like, but with which we could live, literally. And no country has a greater stake. No country has a greater stake than Israel in a good deal that peacefully removes this threat. Ladies and gentlemen, history has placed us at a fateful crossroads. We must now choose between two paths. One path leads to a bad deal that will at best curtail Iran's nuclear ambitions for a while, but it will inexorably lead to a nuclear-armed Iran whose unbridled aggression will inevitably lead to war. The second path, however difficult, could lead to a much better deal that would prevent a nuclear-armed Iran, a nuclearized Middle East, and the horrific consequences of both to all of humanity. You don't have to read Robert Frost to know. You have to live life to know that the difficult path is usually the one less traveled. But it will make all the difference for the future of my country, the security of the Middle East, and the peace of the world, the peace we all desire.
Now, you see all that now, and it bears in mind here now that our national security is at stake here, and what Netanyahu said is absolutely right. Okay, now, because over the course of Obama's presidency, okay, now they have been conducting talks with Iran. Now, obviously, the administration hasn't learned from history here. All right, and let me put that back up here. All right, but anyhow, let me get into a few things here. All right, but obviously the administration has not learned from history here. All right, because now in time, you know, they're trying to work out this deal with Iran, so that Iran won't get the nukes, right? But the negotiation, you don't negotiate with terror sponsor with a state sponsor of terror. All right, now Reagan spoke about the evil empire. All right, and in regards to Russia, right? And George W. Bush mentioned the axis of evil, which was Iraq, Iran, and North Korea. Now, there have been two presidents that used the diplomacy field in trying to negotiate with terror sponsors. Okay, so the first was Carter. Okay, Jimmy Carter used the negotiation method and the talk method, you know, to try to work things out with Iran. But then we got the Iranian hostage situation. He misread the Iranian Revolution, and lo and behold, we had a crisis on our hands with Iran. Okay, and now and then Bill Clinton was another president that used so-called diplomatic negotiations, but this time with North Korea. All right, and then we discovered that North Korea, after all those talks, and guess who Clinton used as a negotiator? Former President Jimmy Carter. Didn't he learn that talk is cheap, all right? And talk does not get you anywhere. Negotiations don't get you anywhere. And now here it is. Here it is. We found out that after all those negotiations with North Korea, right? That we found out that North Korea got nukes. You know, after what the Clinton administration did. All right, and it's just ridiculous. Okay, and now here it is. Obama is using the same failed method of negotiations, right, with Iran, and there's a little deal in there that the sunset provision that gives Iran 10 years 10 years before they get the nukes, which is absolutely stunning and stupid. All right, don't they realize that talk doesn't get you anywhere? These negotiations with terror sponsors, okay, state sponsors. We all know Iran is a state sponsor of terrorism. All right, and this is just ridiculous. They're negotiating with Iran in the hopes that Iran won't develop nuclear weapons. And we all know Iran has been hostile to Israel. All right, look throughout their history. Okay, the supreme Ayatollah here, okay, has mentioned back in December 15th, 2000. He said Iran's position, which was first expressed by the Ayman Khamenei, is that the cancerous tumor called Israel must be uprooted from the region. Okay, and then back in November of 2013, they said they threatened that Iran was they threatened that Israel was the rabid dog of the region. Okay, and then also in November 2013, they said Israelis should not be called humans. All right, and then you remember Ahmadinejad. All right, the I'm in the mood for the jihad president of Iran for so long. Back in 2005, he threatened to wipe Israel off the map. And he says, quote, God willing, with of God behind it, we shall soon experience a world without the United States and Zionism. The Zionist region has reached a dead end. Thanks to God, your wish will soon be realized. And he threatened to wipe Israel off the map. And let's not forget that during the Israeli and Palestine war, Iran was actively funding Hamas and Hezbollah, to defeat Israel, but it didn't work. All right, so all of this, my friends, is coming into play here, but what I found most shocking here, was the fact that what I found most shocking here was the fact that over 50 Democrats, now, all right, skipped the speech. All right, that's right. Over 50 Democrats skipped the speech, and let me show you some of these clips from these Democrats here, which I believe they are playing politics. How could you not attend the speech, right? How could you not attend the speech here, right? And how could you not support Israel, our longtime friend and ally? All right, now, and this is totally ridiculous. This is totally ridiculous here. All right, but now, I want to show you this here. Okay. Yep. All right. Wait. Okay. But I want to show you this here because the Democrats are playing politics with this, and now it comes more apparent that the Democrats are not on our side in this. Okay. Take a look. Take a look at this. They dismissed this as as political theater, which I think is totally stupid. Take a look. All right, take a look at this. All right, here it is.
First, I'd like to congratulate Speaker Boehner and Prime Minister Netanyahu on a very impressive bit of political theater. This speech was straight out of the Dick Cheney playbook. This was fear-mongering at its ultimate.
The president deserves our support and didn't need this today. John Boehner ought to be ashamed of himself.
I thought it would be political theater, and indeed it was political theater, worthy of an Oscar.
What is it about?
What? The Democrats just don't get it. All right, every method that they have used, the Democrats when they were in control, when they had the presidency, okay, every method that they have used, as far as Iran and North Korea is concerned, you know, they just don't understand the threat here. Okay, the Democrats are playing politics with this, and it's just sickening, very, very sickening. All right, now, but however, now, all right, we need to get to before I get to the phone calls here, because this is very, very, very crucial here. All right, very, 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 very crucial here. All right, I mean, but have the Democrats lost their mind? Okay, but you know, it's just outrageous. Okay, but now there is the issue. Like last week, I spoke about Hillary Clinton and that bombshell. Okay, Hillary now is damaged goods. Okay, because it appears that her emails, now have the issue of her emails have come up, and now Emailgate. Now, when Obama became president, he changed the rules as far as public officials and emails. All right. Now, they had the issue of preserving your emails and not using a government or not using a private email account, which now Hillary has used. Hillary didn't use a government account all throughout her tenure as Secretary of State, and this is creating troubles, which is now illegal, which is now against the rules. Okay, she used a private server in her house at Chappaqua. And now there's the issue of her turning. She apparently turned over 55,000 documents of emails of her emails, but these were the emails that she chose, that she selected. But before, she tweeted that she wanted the State Department to review her emails for the Select Benghazi committee, for the Select Committee. Okay, so she handed over 55,000 documents of emails, right? But these weren't all her emails, all right? And she needs to turn in all of her emails, but she left out emails regarding her trip to Libya. Okay, now, all right, there's this picture right here, okay, of her. Now she recently took this picture down off her account, and there's no records. There's no records whatsoever of her of her, you know, of this right here. And here's what Daryl Issa had to say about that. Okay, take a look at this. All right, take a look at this. Okay, Hillary is in a heap of trouble over this.
A subpoena which Trey Gowdy issued is so that, in fact, it will be a crime if she knowingly withholds documents pursuant to subpoena. He needed to do that because she wasn't forthcoming 2.5 years ago. She, in fact, hid the very existence of this until she was caught.
Yep. And you see that now. And Trey Gowdy, you know, comes out and he's the one now that's the chair of this. But what's interesting about this now, okay, is some Democrats are now are weary of the email gate scandal, and Senator Dianne Feinstein now even says that Hillary needs to come clean. Take a look at this. All right.
What I would like is for her to come forward and say just what the situation is, because she is the preeminent political figure right now. She is the leading candidate, whether it be Republican or Democrat, for the next president, to be the next president.
No, I don't buy that. Okay, but let me play Trey Gowdy's little thing here, because there's no indication here, all right, of Trey Gowdy, but Trey Gowdy, there's no okay, but here's what Trey Gowdy said, all right, and this is very, very crucial. Okay, take a look.
There are gaps of months and months and months, and if you think to that iconic picture of her on a C-17 flying to Libya, she has sunglasses on and she has her handheld device in her hand. We have no emails from that day. In fact, we have no emails from that trip. So it strains credibility to believe that if you're on your way to Libya to discuss Libyan policy, that there's not a single document that's been turned over to Congress. So there are huge gaps.
There are huge gaps. All right. So Hillary only handed over the emails that she thought were necessary. All right. But now there's a clear understanding of this. Now we can bring up all. This is very, very typical of Hillary. All right. Very, very typical of Hillary. In fact, my friends, okay, but we could bring up, okay, now because Hillary never learns, okay, she just keeps doing the same thing over and over and over again, okay, and has the same predictable and disastrous outcome, okay. Now, her core instincts, okay, her persona, ignorance, arrogance, and distrust is quite revealing. Okay, now this is why we the bigger issue here. Okay, now of course, you know, the bigger issue here is of course what happens all the time is these scandals come up and Hillary tries to cover them up. You see what happened when okay, now she says that she said that she wants the State Department to release her emails. She's talking about the emails that she has selected and sent to the State Department. If history is any guide, Hillary has already scrubbed her server of anything that she didn't want to be made public. All right. Now, what she doesn't get is that this is not for her to decide what is relevant. It is for the State Department, the rightful owner of the emails, to make that determination. Now, but see, this is going to go on. This is going to go on. This whole thing about the emails and everything, and the foreign contributions. This is going to go on toward all throughout the 2016 race, and so it's going to tear her down, and she may end up dropping out and letting some other Democrat rise to the ranks, like maybe Elizabeth Warren, maybe, or some other unfortunate Democrat who's gonna lose. All right, but now this is especially significant, okay, because we could bring up, okay, now we could bring up, during the Clinton administration, okay, every single scandal had its roots in Hillary's propensity to cover it up. Okay, now, number one, a special prosecutor was appointed to investigate Whitewater. Okay, and he stuck around for Lewinsky, Monica Lewinsky, because Hillary wouldn't agree to release her tax returns for 1979 and 1980. Okay, well, why not? Why was it turned out that she was hiding her commodity market winnings until after the statute of limitations had passed. All right, now Paula Jones, the Paula Jones lawsuit, which led to the revelation of the Monica Lewinsky affair and Bill's perjury, was never settled, even though Paula offered to do so for no money or admission of guilt. Why? Because Hillary wanted to cover up the bill that Bill had sent a state trooper to fetch her. That was Troopergate. Remember that? All right. And then, okay, and so it went up with the travel office records. Remember that FBI file? Okay, Whitewater, missing billing records. Okay, secret health care meetings. Every White House other scandal. Hillary always was trying to cover up one scandal after another. What? She was trying to cover up one scandal by making another scandal worse. Okay, but now she has taken on an issue that is just that she would characterize as a right-wing scandal, and made it into a New York Times scandal. All right, a 2015 investigation into a 2016 one. All right, now, so this is going to tear her down. All right, and we need definitely those emails. Okay. We need definitely those emails. In fact, Dick Morris, in his book, Rewriting History, which I show you right here, all right, right next to me, Dick Morris's book, Rewriting History, all right, in the very first paragraph of the first chapter, describes Hillary very well. Okay. All right. In fact, okay, I'm going to get down to that. All right. And I'm going to put it up on the screen for you. All right. But here we go. All right. This is what Dick Morris wrote. Okay. Now, like the moon, she shows us the same face each time we see her. Sometimes she displays more, sometimes less of her visage, but always it is the same carefully presented persona, friendly, open, giggly, practical, family-oriented, caring, thoughtful, unflappable, serious, balanced, and moderate. Just like the moon, though, Hillary Rodham Clinton has a face she never shows us, a side that is never visible, never on display. And that's Dick Morris, the former advisor to Bill Clinton, who actually wrote that book. All right, but my friends, Hillary is in deep, deep trouble here. All right, she's damaged goods, and it's not looking good for Hillary. All right, so my friends, Hillary is damaged goods. All right, and now, okay, let me get to something before I get to. Okay, now we know that the phone lines are up, but now let me get to. While I'm waiting for phone calls, though, I want to bring up this. All right, okay. Now, and I want to bring this up. Okay, okay. We marked the last weekend, or over the weekend, we marked the 50th anniversary of Selma. All right, but I want you to notice something. Okay, in the New York Times, though, however, okay, in the New York Times, okay, the New York Times had on its front cover, okay, that they showed the picture of Barack Obama out there, all right, Barack Obama out there, but they didn't show the full picture, okay, because that full picture had President Bush on there, all right, and which is very, very telling about the New York Times here, okay. It shows Obama, but you don't learn that President Bush was also over there until page 15. All right. Now, I would have liked to see the New York Times on the front page display the full picture right there. You know, this just clearly displays that the New York Times is bias. Okay, yep. And you see there, okay, so the New York Times cut the Bushes out, and this is just ridiculous. All right, it's just ridiculous, my friends. All right, it clearly shows the bias. Okay, now why would the New York Times cut the Bushes out? Okay, the former president was there at the same place as the current president, and celebrating the march, the 50th anniversary of the Selma March, you know. And another thing I can't understand. Another thing I can't understand is another thing I can't understand here is why in the world, okay, why in the world does why in the world did they choose? Whose idea was it to choose the shortest month and the coldest month of the year for Black History Month when the march in Selma happened in March? I just don't get that. I don't understand. That's a weird one for me. All right, and the next item up for the bids here. All right. Okay. The next item here is, what is up with these airplane crashes? All right. Yeah. What is up with these airplane crashes? Take a look. Oh, that's not it. Oh, well, yep. We go up here, and as you can see here, okay, this plane skids off a runway, nearly plunges 127 passengers into the bay. All right. Now this and it crashed and slid due to bad weather. Okay. But and also in the meantime, Harrison Ford flew a plane and also he crashed. Now Harrison Ford, as you know, is played Han Solo in Star Wars, right? And but Harrison Ford hurt in an LA plane crash, okay? But the actor was okay, okay? He may have been battered, but he was okay, okay, in that. But it's just weird, and it's like it's been nearly a year now, and we still can't find the Malaysian airliner that disappeared. Isn't that weird? Okay, but that's I just found weird. Okay, now, but no phone calls, and I guess we'll have to bring it to the last words of the night. All right, and the last words for the night, for tonight, I bring you to this right here. Star Trek. Kirk rushes to Cali but misses Spock's servants. All right. This is talking about in the New York Post. Okay, how Leonard Nimoy, who played the actor that played Spock on Star Trek, died, and William Shatner, who played Captain Kirk, okay, raced to Los Angeles at warp speed on Sunday, but even Mr. Scott couldn't have gotten him enough engine power to make it in time for Leonard Nimoy's funeral. Okay, now the actor famed for playing Captain Kirk in Star Trek, in the Star Trek franchise, touched down at LAX and at around 11:30 a.m. in California. Okay, California time, TMZ reported. However, the private funeral service for Leonard Nimoy was held at 9 a.m. A representative for the late actor told the Post, but Nimoy, who played Kirk's second in command, Captain Spock or Commander Spock, died Friday at age 83. Okay, after that, but anyway, he missed the funeral, and I'm sorry that we didn't have any calls, but that is all the time that we have left for tonight, my friends. You can follow me on Twitter at WilliamMitro2, and you can follow me on YouTube. You can watch the show on YouTube. All right, we thank you for watching Political Points, where the right is right and the left is always on the wrong side of history. Always remember, vote Republican.